I used to feel pain and soreness in my legs after walking, and at that moment, I was forced to stop and listen to my body. That pain was not normal. It felt like a warning signal that my muscles were lacking essential nutrients, but I found a way to fix it. There are 4 types of foods that have been clinically studied and proven to help rejuvenate aging leg muscles and naturally reduce pain. They're simple, easy to find, affordable, and especially effective quite quickly. The last food on that list really caught my attention, because it turns out that most older adults, myself included, have been using it the wrong way. And that's exactly what has significantly affected our mobility. I started changing that from today. Have you ever felt like your legs were ready to give up after just a short walk around the neighborhood? That heavy, sore feeling or sudden cramps? I found out that one of the main causes is poor blood circulation, and fortunately, I also discovered one of the most effective natural methods to improve it. I used to often feel my legs become overwhelmingly tired, heavy, and sore in the muscles after just a bit of light activity. At first, I thought it was simply a normal sign of aging, but gradually I realized my body was trying to speak up. Maybe I was lacking the right kind of fuel. And surprisingly, salmon turned out to be an effective natural solution that I hadn't expected. I learned that chronic inflammation is one of the silent causes of leg pain. You don't always see visible swelling or redness, but internally, low-grade inflammation slowly wears down muscle strength, slows recovery, and prolongs pain, especially as we age. That's why I started looking into foods that could support my body from the inside out, and salmon, rich in omega-3s, became a trusted companion. Everyone says salmon is good for the heart, but I found few mention how beneficial it is for the legs. Salmon contains EPA and DHA, 2 essential omega-3 fatty acids that have been clinically shown to reduce inflammation in joints, muscles, and blood vessels. I read a study published in the Journal of Clinical Lipidology, which found that older adults who consumed more omega-3s experienced significantly less muscle and joint pain. Another study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition left a strong impression on me. Omega-3s help improve muscle protein synthesis, which means the body recovers faster and builds stronger muscles after physical activity. And I've come to a simple realization. When I eat salmon regularly, my muscles recover faster, my joints hurt less and feel less stiff. I feel less soreness and fatigue when walking. On top of that, salmon is also rich in vitamin D, a nutrient I used to overlook, yet it plays a crucial role in strengthening leg muscles, increasing bone density. What truly shocked me was learning that nearly 50% of people over 65 are deficient in vitamin D, which raises the risk of falls, fractures, and muscle weakness, the very things I used to complain about to my children and grandchildren without knowing the cause. Now, I try to eat salmon about 2-3 times a week, and I can clearly feel the difference. My body is less inflamed. My joints are less painful and more flexible. My bones and legs are stronger, helping me maintain better balance. I still remember meeting Martha, 69 years old, an old friend who used to avoid walking with her family because her knees always hurt. After her doctor recommended replacing red meat with wild-caught salmon, just 3 weeks later she told me her legs were less swollen, her recovery time had improved, and she couldn't hide her joy when she shared that she actually walked faster than her grandson during their weekend stroll. Not a big fan of the fishy smell like me? Don't worry, wild canned salmon is a great alternative. I usually mix it into salads or pair it with whole grain bread. It's tasty, convenient, and great for your health. I used to think beets were just an ordinary root vegetable, nice in color but a bit hard to eat. But it turns out, they are actually one of the most powerful natural foods for improving blood circulation to the legs, something I truly needed as I entered middle age. The reason is that beets are rich in natural nitrates. When I consume them, these nitrates are converted into nitric oxide, a gas that helps dilate and soften blood vessels. As a result, blood flows more efficiently, and the muscles in my legs receive more oxygen. I used to wonder why my legs would tire quickly, and sometimes I even felt a burning sensation in my calves after just a short walk. Later, I learned that when muscles lack oxygen, they lose strength rapidly. But thanks to improved blood flow, I've found that my legs move more smoothly, hurt less, and recover much faster after any activity. I read a study in the Journal of Applied Physiology, which found that beet juice significantly improved endurance in older adults with peripheral artery disease, a condition that causes leg pain while walking. Another study from Wake Forest University surprised me even more. Beet juice can increase oxygen delivery to muscles by up to 20%, even in people like me who don't exercise regularly. But beets aren't just about oxygen supply. They also contain betanin, a natural anti-inflammatory compound that helps combat chronic inflammation. I now understand that inflammation is a silent culprit behind age-related muscle deterioration, so having a source of anti-inflammatories is incredibly important. What made me appreciate beets even more is that they also help lower blood pressure. I have a mild history of high blood pressure, so knowing that this one food supports blood vessels, protects the heart, and improves circulation to the legs makes it truly valuable. I use beets in various ways: roasted with a little olive oil, shredded into salads, or blended into smoothies with apple and ginger. However, for me, the simplest and most effective method is drinking pure beet juice just one small glass a day, and after just a week, I could already feel a clear difference in my body. I still remember a conversation with an older man named John, 71 years old, a retired postal worker. He used to walk all day, but after retiring, even a few steps made his legs ache, forcing him to sit down. His daughter came across information about beets and bought him some juice from a health food store. After just 10 days, he told me his legs felt lighter, he had more energy, and he was able to walk longer without needing to stop midway. Since then, beets have become an essential part of his daily diet, and now, part of mine as well. I realized that bananas are one of the most common fruits found in the kitchens of older adults like me because they're soft, easy to digest, and naturally sweet. But one surprising thing I only recently came to understand is that most of us are eating bananas the wrong way, and that may silently be making leg pain worse instead of better. Let me share with you why. Bananas are well known for being high in potassium, an essential mineral that helps muscles contract properly, prevents cramps, and maintains fluid balance in cells. When I used to get cramps after walking or felt muscle pain and tightness, the cause was often a potassium deficiency. But potassium can't work alone, and this is where many of us go wrong. Even though bananas are rich in potassium, they contain very little magnesium. Without magnesium, my body can't use potassium effectively. It's like having fuel but no engine to run it. According to the U.S. National Institutes of Health, older adults like me are more prone to electrolyte imbalances, especially when taking diuretics, blood pressure medications, or dealing with kidney issues. So just eating bananas without combining them with magnesium-rich foods like nuts or leafy greens didn't give me the leg pain relief I had hoped for. On top of that, if I ate a banana on its own, especially on an empty stomach, I was more likely to experience a blood sugar crash, since bananas have a high glycemic index. This causes blood sugar to spike quickly, then drop sharply, leaving me drained and weakening my leg muscles. So what's my solution? Very simple: pair bananas with the right foods to turn them into a superfood for the legs. Bananas with a handful of almonds. Bananas with Greek yogurt. Bananas with peanut butter on whole grain toast. These combinations slow down sugar absorption, balance electrolytes, and provide steady energy to support the leg muscles. Thanks to that, I've seen a noticeable reduction in cramps, soreness, and fatigue. I want to share with you a little secret that I've personally applied to ease leg pain and fatigue during movement, and that secret is spinach. You can puree spinach and mix it into fish cakes, or ask your doctor about high-quality omega-3 supplements from fish oil or algae. The most important thing is consistency, because when your body is steadily supplied with these anti-inflammatory nutrients, you'll begin to feel real improvement in your legs, back, and everyday movement. If you're like me, someone who has lived with a dull ache after a morning stroll or a trip to the market, salmon might be the delicious painkiller you've never tried. And if your legs often feel shaky, weak, or slow to recover after activity, it's very likely your muscles are lacking magnesium, a nutrient that helps muscles contract, support the body, and maintain balance. Did you know that spinach, the vegetable I always have in my fridge, isn't just rabbit food or a salad topping, but is actually a muscle-boosting powerhouse for older adults like me? The magnesium in spinach is essential for proper muscle function. Without enough magnesium, your muscles can't contract properly, and you're more likely to experience cramps, fatigue, spasms, or even lose your balance. A large study published in Nutrients showed that low magnesium intake is directly linked to muscle weakness in older adults, especially in the legs. Another report in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society also found that seniors who get enough magnesium tend to move better, fall less often, and have greater walking endurance. But spinach isn't just rich in magnesium. It also contains potassium to help prevent cramps and aid muscle recovery, iron to support oxygen transport in the blood and energize leg muscles, and nitrates compounds that improve blood flow, like those in beets, helping nutrients and oxygen reach tired leg muscles more effectively. To me, that means spinach doesn't just help with pain, it helps rebuild muscle, restore energy, and maintain balance when walking, climbing stairs, or standing for long periods. I remember chatting with Walter, a 73-year-old retired mechanic who once said, "I never thought a green leaf could help me walk better." He used to suffer from calf pain and weak knees, especially after morning walks. Following a physical therapist's advice, he began adding a handful of spinach to his morning eggs and blending spinach smoothies with bananas and almond milk. After just 2 weeks, he said the cramps were less frequent. After a month, he could walk farther without tiring and even started light exercises again, without any soreness. Spinach, he said, has become my morning fuel. And you know what? Spinach is incredibly easy to incorporate into daily meals. You can toss a handful into soups or stews, sauté it with olive oil and garlic, or blend it into smoothies to boost muscle strength. If you don't like salads, don't worry, spinach can be eaten cooked or raw. If fresh spinach isn't convenient, frozen is a great option. Just check the sodium content if you're managing blood pressure. One tip I often use is pairing spinach with a bit of vitamin C like lemon juice or bell peppers to help your body absorb more iron and get the most out of it. So, if you often wake up with stiff, aching legs or struggle to build strength in your muscles, I think it's time to start adding a handful of spinach to your daily diet. No need for anything fancy or expensive, but for your legs, it might just be the silent hero you've been searching for. I've noticed that when athletes consume foods rich in potassium combined with magnesium and protein, they recover faster, experience fewer cramps, and their muscle coordination improves. And this holds just as true for older adults like us. I vividly remember the story of Grace, a 67-year-old woman, sharp and quick-witted, but deeply troubled by nightly calf cramps. She had tried eating bananas in the evening, yet still often woke up with painful, uncomfortable cramps. When her doctor suggested she pair bananas with almond butter and a pinch of cinnamon, within just 2 weeks, those cramps disappeared completely. Grace once told me, "I thought I was doing it right, but it turns out I just needed a better companion for my banana." That's when I realized, never dismiss bananas, but eat them smartly. Avoid overly ripe bananas, as they can spike your blood sugar quickly. Instead, choose firm, yellow bananas and pair them with protein, fiber, and magnesium to balance their effect on blood sugar and support muscle health. When eaten the right way, bananas are no longer just a snack. They become a strategic tool to keep your legs stronger, more energized, and moving pain-free. So next time your legs ache after a walk, take a moment to pause and think. Don't rush to blame your age, and don't try to simply endure the pain. Now you know better. Your legs aren't betraying you, they're crying out for help. And the answer doesn't lie in a pill bottle, a clinic, or a prescription. It might be right in your kitchen. Beets help boost blood circulation. Salmon reduces inflammation. Spinach restores muscle strength, and bananas, but only when eaten the right way, provide powerful recovery energy. Each of these small things is a choice, a step towards something greater, a life of movement, freedom, without hesitation, without pain, and without fear. But there's one more thing I believe many of us haven't mentioned today, and something most older adults tend to overlook. It's a quiet factor, possibly making everything worse. A familiar morning habit that might be silently draining your leg strength day by day, no matter how healthy your diet is. Changing that habit could be the final missing piece your body has been waiting for. I'll share exactly what it is and how to fix it quickly in the next video. Because your body hasn't stopped growing. In fact, it hasn't even begun to reach its full potential. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button. It helps us keep creating valuable content for you. Feel free to leave a comment below to share your thoughts, questions, or topics you'd like us to cover in the next video. We'd love to hear from you. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss any of our latest health tips and useful information. Stay healthy, and see you in the next video.